Hey, what's up, guys? It is Eli Fishman here, back with another interview, and today I'm glad to be joined by Los Angeles Dodgers prospect Josiah Gray. Josiah, thank you so much for coming on today. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me. Glad to be here. Share a little bit more about my story.
Where are you right now? How's your situation? How you doing during this time?
Things are a little crazy, but I'm still actually in Arizona, just waiting for the next move, seeing what happens. Um, Enjoying the good weather because I'm originally from New York, so just trying to find some good things in what's going on and staying ready for the next situation.
Are the complexes totally closed?
Yeah, the complexes are closed, so we got to find local parks to throw in and work out in. But we haven't really had any trouble with that yet. So we're all staying in shape. It's me and a couple other guys out here, and we're ready for whatever happens.
2018 second rounder, and then traded over from the Reds to the Dodgers in that Puig deal. Talk to me about that trade. You're just a first-year ball player, and then you're part of a blockbuster deal, and your name's on MLB Network and all that.
Yeah, that was crazy. Just because of who was involved in the trade, along with it being my first season in professional baseball. But that whole day was a whirlwind, and I took it with every minute. My phone started blowing up after that all broke down, and it made me, realize that this is a business, even as short as my career was at the time. I was really fortunate and grateful that the Reds drafted me where they did and when they did. But I was also really fortunate to join the Dodgers organization, knowing what they've done in the past for pitchers like myself. So it definitely was like a bittersweet feeling to go from the Reds to the Dodgers. But I'm excited for my future with the Dodgers from this point on.
The Dodgers pitching staff right now, especially with the up and coming rookies and young guys, yourself, Walker Buehler, Dustin May. What does it mean to you to be a part of that group of guys who are some of the top young pitchers in the game and are looking to bring a championship back to Los Angeles?
I think it says a lot about the whole player development staff in terms of just pitching coaches, trainers, everything you have. I think it shows you that the Dodgers are doing something right with all their guys that come through the system, whether they be a first rounder or a 40th rounder. They're producing major league talent at an elite level that's unparalleled with what else is going on in the industry right now. And I think to become a part of that and understand that for about a year and a half now has really made me understand and appreciate the situation I'm in and know that they're behind me at the every step of the way, and they're gonna make sure my development is at the forefront of everything that we do at the end of the day.
Last year, you were absolutely dominant. Dodgers minor league pitcher of the year, 11-2, 2.28 ERA. What do you attribute that success to in your first season with the Dodgers?
I'd say just as cliche as it is, just confidence going out there, giving my best stuff for my team every fifth day, not missing a start. It's really, at the end of the day, bouncing from low A and ending in double A really just made me understand that, hitters are going to continue to get better, but I'm also going to continue to get better. And that means my stuff's going to continue to get better. I'll continue to throw more strikes, be more confident in the zone. The simple things. I tried to keep it as simple as I could, bouncing from level to level. And, things went right with pretty much every start. And I'm really glad that year happened. But, I want to make 2020 and whatever happens with baseball this year the best year yet, and, continue to make an impact and continue to go out there, be confident on the mound and get us a win.
What's your repertoire? What's your scouting report on yourself?
Yeah. So it'd be a four-seam fastball, changeup, slider, and a curveball. And the curveball, we've been working on that since last year spring training. So that's like the fourth pitch, but that offers me a different look to some hitters. And it's something I'm continuing to be confident in, along with, every other pitch that I already have.
Now, your story to where you've gotten right now, as a pitcher is very interesting. You only had one offer out of high school to go to a D2 college as a position player. And then it wasn't until your junior year that you got in the rotation. So just tell me about your, that story and your development to where you are as a pitcher today.
Yeah, absolutely. So coming out of high school, I wasn't the most athletic or toolsy kid coming out. So, I only had one offer to Le Moyne College, a small Division II school up in Syracuse, New York. So I went there, with the full intentions of jumping in to play shortstop my sophomore year and pitching a little bit. So it wasn't like pitching was foreign to me. It just I didn't do it as much. So getting there, backed up a little bit my freshman year, threw a couple innings, didn't have the greatest year actually on the mound. I think I had like a 9 ERA, something really, really high. But then that summer in the Hamptons Collegiate League, I really blew up, started to throw a little bit harder, really just start to blossom as a pitcher more so than position player. And then came back my sophomore year with the intentions of playing shortstop, started all games at shortstop. I think we had about 45 games. But along with that, I was our team's closer. So, I would play 8 innings at shortstop. Then the ninth, I would go and close the ball game. And I was really successful with that. Ended up getting a full contract out there in the Cape Cod League with the Chatham Anglers. And that's probably where my career really, really started. Went out there, had a couple bumpy outings, but other than that, was pretty good. Throwing the hardest I ever had. And that's where things kind of just took off. And, I started hearing from a lot of teams and, my career trajectory kind of just changed and arrived back to campus that junior year with the full intentions of being our ace, our number one starting pitcher that year. And that kind of all was all history and, ended up getting drafted in the second round by the Reds. So that's like the short story, but, it's still crazy to look back on it and, how things have gone from there to here and all how it's all like culminated into like my whole story so far.
I read that you jumped from mid 80s to mid 90s, which is extremely impressive. Do you do drive line, plyo balls? What exactly did you do to up that velo?
Honestly, when I got to Le Moyne, it was just more or less getting in the weight room, eating a lot more, and just continuing to push myself. I never did drive line. I never did any sort of thing to just up my velo. I just did, the certain things that they provided to us. I took full advantage of in terms of the weight room and meals and all that stuff up there. And that summer, that's when things kind of blossomed and I started throwing harder.
Right before spring training was canceled, you got a couple games in with the big league club. Talk to me about that. Pitching. You're basically on a big league mound when you're there with big league spring training, and you're in an MLB clubhouse.
Yeah, that was definitely a surreal experience. I'm looking forward to doing that again. That's going to be my career out there on that mound with those guys behind me. But definitely was something I'll never forget. Throwing against the Angels and actually Cincinnati for an inning. It was something where, I got to face guys I've been watching for a while in terms of just being a fan of baseball and being able to get those guys out and just understand that experience, what is asked of you every time you step out there on that mound really makes me want to really enjoy that experience and make it something that's, not so foreign where I'm doing it every 5 days and I can just continue to get more comfortable with it and, make it who I am as a pitcher.
Aside from all this Corona stuff, if you were to be MLB commissioner for one day, what would you do to the game? What's your opinion on the current state of baseball?
Oh my, that's a tough question. Let me think. Oof. I honestly think baseball is in a great state right now. I want to say postseason baseball is as exciting as it can be. But let me think. One exciting change, just let guys go out there and wear whatever cleats they want. I think that's the biggest thing to where, you see the NBA or the NFL, they have their certain amount of cleats and shoes that they wear on the field or court every time. And, that's really become a part of a player's image in those sports. And I think in baseball, if you get rid of the requirements or lessen the requirements on cleats and sort of expand it to where like players weekend or something along those lines where guys can really express and start to show who they are on their cleats every night and they could just take cool pictures and stuff like that. I think fans could really start to engross themselves in another part of a player's image. And then that can kind of grow the game even more with what's going on now. And so I would say something along the line of Cleats.
With that, I'm guessing you're a big Players Weekend fan. So what would be the nickname on the back of your Players Weekend jersey?
Yeah, so my nickname would just be JoJo. That's been my nickname my whole life. That's what basically everyone calls me.
What's something a lot of people don't know about you? What's a fun fact about yourself?
Oh, man. Fun fact that I really enjoy reading a lot of different books. So, like, at this point in time right now, I'm reading like 3 different books. One's for class, so I'm taking some classes right now. Another is a motivational sort of mind book, and then another's a baseball book. So I think it's keeping my mind sharp for when, baseball resumes, and keeping me learning and, the knowledge continue to come in.
Are you a superstitious guy at all? Do you have any superstitions on your start day?
I wouldn't say I'm a superstitious guy, but I definitely try to follow the same routine. I don't know if that's the same answer. But, I like to come in around the same time on start days and more or less journal what I want to do that day and what times I want to break it down for on that day. I like to go outside once I'm settled and I'm eating just to get some sun and, just enjoy the environment that night. Listen to some music. I try to just keep that all the same, but not to the point where it's like I'm pinholing it and saying, I have to do this, I have to do that. I try to keep it adjustable along with like some sort of consistency.
Do you model your game after anyone? Are there any pitchers that you watch film on or you like a leg kick or something like that?
I've grown to like Marcus Stroman a lot, Chris Archer and Luis Severino, just for in terms of what they do on the mounds, in that they're, athletic guys that throw hard or more or less have thrown hard in their careers with pretty much elite stuff on the mound. And also they're great guys outside of the field. And it's kind of like Stroman and Archer and Severino, the things they do within their communities, along with the things they do to help their teammates out. I think it's something I've idolized ever since, they started to publicize baseball more and more. And those are the guys, I look up to and look forward to meeting down the line.
All right, man. Thank you so much for joining me today. Really, really appreciate it. Best of luck to you. And if we have a season, I hope to see you on a big league mound.
Yeah, me too. I appreciate it.